We settled Mars over a century ago. Making this dusty rock our home wasn't easy, but the promise that led us across the void was freedom. Something my family's bled for many times.
Hello there, Sir from 17 once again, bringing you to the next section in my Red Faction Armageddon Insane Difficulty video walkthrough. And this is concluding the siege on the Terraformer, and we're now searching for Hale. But first we have to get to the Turbine room, and as the screen has just declared, we've now got the impact ability, which is, think of it as like a force push from Force Unleashed, only not quite as overpowered or as effective. And the reticle to the... watch that. What even happened then? That is the closest I come to dying on this level, and it's my own hand. How bad is that? But the left blue bar that's curved around 7 o'clock underneath my reticle, that is the energy for your push ability for the impact move, and the other nano forge abilities that you can buy. And it goes red when it's been used, and it gradually refills. You will be able to upgrade the amount of time it takes to refill the bar, but that only comes a lot later on in the game. And at this moment in time, it's useful for if anything rushes you to clear them out of your way, or if there's any debris or objects you can't get past. And you're going to see me get stuck a lot in this game, because the only problem with the Geo mod is right here. You will get stuck in situations where you just cannot get out of the fucking geometry, and a lot of the time it will get you killed when you're playing on Insane. And there's a couple of sections where if you get stuck, i.e. on an enemy or on some arena or environment, you're in trouble, because if you can keep moving, you can keep yourself a hard to hit target, and the enemies will have much more trouble than you would think killing you, because you do take a beating on this difficulty for some reason. It's nowhere near as strict as I imagined it to be, but if they get a bead on you and you do not move, they will kill you very quick. So it's all about constantly moving and trying not to get trapped, and the impact ability is going to pay some real dividends for that. But right now, this is about as generically third-person shootery as the game gets, because you're currently using the assault rifle, and this is probably one of the weakest and most annoyingly frustrating weapons on the game. I've already shit on it before, I'm not going to speak too much about it now, but for the purpose of this area, you're going to be taking on... the majority of the enemies are human, and they take a hell of a lot of damage, so if you can hit them with a headshot, or if you can get close to them and do a melee move, that's going to definitely help you get through. The move you saw me do just then is when you push the right analog in, you'll do a melee attack that does not take any energy from you. It's not very powerful, but it can be really useful for finishing enemies off. A really good technique later on when you take on I think they're called Ravagers, they're the big aliens that are red, and they jump about throwing like fireworks at you or whatever the hell they do. If you hit that enemy with a magnet gun and it doesn't kill it and it's anywhere near you, if you run up to it and do the melee attack, you'll actually finish it off in one blow. He does like an animation that he hits it with the butt of his gun, and it kills it very quickly. So that is a fantastic technique to get into the habit of doing. But right now, if you use this door for cover, you can do a bit of the third person, exploitation of the angle, where you can shoot and stay in cover at the same time. The doorway that I've just fired my plasma cannon at, that is where the enemies are going to spawn from, and there's at least 5 or 6 enemies that are going to turn up, so you definitely need to stay on top of them. Don't rush into this room too quickly, or you're just going to find yourself up shit city. The main reason for it is, if they get close to you, you're going to do the impact move, and the impact move is going to bust the platform, making you fall through it. When you fall through it, you don't know where you're going to land, you don't know if you're going to get stuck, and you're going to get your shit pushed in by a lot of enemies, so you need to stay on top of it. But make sure you explore all the avenues that you can, so that you get as much of the loot as possible, as much of the salvage, because it will enable you to get upgrades quicker, and it will make your life easier. I haven't actually bought the health upgrades on this game, so I don't know how effective they are. As I've specified in the information and in the last video, I'm not going to be upgrading my life, just to show people that it can be done with the base life. Feel free to upgrade yours if you're struggling, if you think it's going to help, and if it does make much of a difference. Like I say, I don't have enough experience to tell you if that's a good strategy, because I don't use it. But this room here, there's a lot of enemies and there's a lot of opportunities to fall through the graphics because this is one big platform in essence. And once you've killed everybody in here, you have to rebuild 3 of the turbines. And it's very simple once you get to that point, but this beginning point is definitely quite interesting because there's a lot of enemies, they're a lot more damaging than your guns are, and you'll notice I'm using the plasma cannon a lot purely to speed things up because I hate this assault rifle. Even when you get this assault rifle with no recoil and you've got the damage upgrades for the non-explosive weapons, it's still a piece of shit. I would definitely say don't equip it, don't waste a slot on it. And whenever you're moving across a platform that you're not confident in, and you think you could fall through, or there's a lot of enemies around you that could knock you through the platform and fuck you, make sure you use the nano forge to rebuild things. Because in the later areas of the game, you're going to see me running through a lot of sections, and there are various areas where potentially I could fall through the graphics, and if I were to do so, not the graphics, sorry, through the environment, and if I were to do so at that moment, it would ruin it. It would completely ruin my run, and that is not something that you want because it's lethal. Getting stuck on this game is a game over screen for if you've got anything that's remotely lethal near you. You need to be on the ball. But keep repairing, keep moving forward, and once you've cleared out everybody in the room, you'll probably hear Darius speak to Sam, which is the female voice that guides you through, kind of like Navi from Zelda. And just be careful when you use the impact, because as you just saw, it will bust every piece of geometry near you and make you fall through like I just did then. And I fall through a lot on this game. It's just one of the many victims of the gameplay. But once you've fixed all these generators, there you go. It'll say find Adam Hale, and then you can move forward and hopefully not fall through the damn platform again like I just did. And you can carry on through the door that's just opened, because when you power on all 3 generators, the door that's on the adjacent end of the room to where you entered will now be open. So you just need to proceed through there and you can carry on with the next section. You will notice I'm going to be splitting this game up into shorter videos just for the ease of upload. It'll make it a hell of a lot easier for me, so it's something I want to try and utilise again. But use your nano forge, patch up any of the holes, pick up the ammo, pick up the salvage, and then push forward. You see, a lot of the keys to success in this game are knowing when to rush and when to take it slowly. And at first, you're not too sure of exactly how the dynamics work, because there are certain areas where there don't seem to be a lot of enemies and there doesn't seem to be that many spawns, and then there are other areas where it's like the spawns just never end, and if you don't run you're just going to be there for the next 2 hours. So this is an interesting room, and you'll notice straight away they actually block off the entrance so that you can't backtrack. And if you get stuck, don't back up into that area, go straight forward underneath the platform. It will give you cover, but be careful, because if there's any of the rocket launcher packing cultists, they will blow the platform up to get to you. And you'll notice I've just actually destroyed the platform there. Pardon me. But don't worry, everything on this game can be rebuilt because you have the magic hold left bumper key, and it'll get you through anything. Right now, when you get up onto this platform, across there will always be 2 cultists that look at you. And these guys are going to strip your life down really quickly as you try and get near them, because for whatever reason, the assault rifle at range is useless. And I was really hoping for it to be the workhorse of this game, and to get a lot of, good use out of it, but this is probably the last time you will see me using it. There's one other part of the game where it's really useful, but on my recording run I completely forgot the section was coming, and I ended up using probably the worst choice weapon you could possibly use, but it ended up working out for me. And it's going to give me something quite amusing to commentate over, so that's not too bad. But the luxury of this game is, for a lot of it I'm going to have a lot to talk about, so I'm not going to be, for instance, I just did an Enslaved commentary, and about halfway through the video it kind of dawned on me that I didn't have too much to talk about, because my mind kind of went blank and the gameplay was super simple and self-explanatory. This game is going to take a little bit more explaining, because there are definitely a few choice ways of making your path through Armageddon, and mine's definitely going to be different to your own. especially towards the end of the game, because I've got a strategy for the last area, which is the final section of the game, that I actually came up with before I took on the area, and it worked a treat. Completely didn't think to do it my first run through, and yeah, it's a really cool idea, so I hope you dig it. I hope it works as well as it did for me for you, but I'm getting a little ahead of myself because that's probably about 30 videos away. You'll notice whenever the cultists get close, if you swap to your hammer, it's generally an instant kill. The maul is probably the most powerful gun on the most powerful weapon on the game for damage dealing. It even kills monoliths. It kills everything, and there's an achievement for killing everything with it, which I'm currently doing on a new playthrough on easy. So I wouldn't say carry it around with you unless you're like sadomasochistic, but never underestimate its power. It's just very limited because you've got to get super close. And right now this is kind of frustrating because I'm taking this area on from the wrong side. If you take this on from the opposite side, you won't have any problems because that is two cultists with nano rifles. And the nano rifle has this really annoying effect that it vaporizes any geometry that's around you, and you'll notice it kept destroying the actual platform I was stood on, which makes you fall through it. So if you come over here, you can exploit the fact that you can shoot round the right hand side of objects and you can kill them without them being able to see you. So there you go, a nice simple way of handling those two assholes. But now we have to extend the bridge, so we're coming to another door, but this is, I think... Oh yes, this is a mini-boss fight against a Shiva, which is an armoured exoskeleton. And they're not as frequent as you'd think. They're kind of the heavy equivalent of the game. And the easiest way to beat it is just keep circling around this middle altar so that it can't get a good shot off on you. Charge your plasma cannon and just keep hitting it with it. And as you just see, it dies very quickly if you're accurate, and you shouldn't have any trouble with it. But unfortunately, we've just pretty much fucked up the mission through our own stupidity. I'm not going to ruin why, you're going to see so in a moment once we activate the bridge. And as soon as you cross the bridge, you will then be reunited with your commander, who is the black dude. I don't remember his name, he's that forgettable. And that is the end of the first level of Red Faction Armageddon, so... strap in, I hope you enjoy the guide. It's definitely going to be an interesting one, and the game isn't that difficult, but there's certainly some challenging areas, and I have some pretty damn awesome strategies for them, so ego aside, I hope they help. Thanks for watching, and you take care as always.